So our president has coronavirus, and he has been around, other people that are usually around the president. You know what I'm saying? And so that means that potentially we could like have the deaths of hundreds of people within positions of our government that are very important. And the thing is, because Donald Trump is one of these trifling motherfuckers, he ain't tell nobody that he even had the virus when he had it. Should we consider this one of the first acts of attempted murder on a vice presidential candidate? Oh, I mean, what I'm saying, I'm just joking. This is just joke. This is satire. This is satire. I'm not saying that Donald Trump attempted to assassinate Vice President Biden by knowingly and willingly going to the debates with a contagious disease that most people, all people that we take seriously within the medical community, has said that it, causes potential problems to people that are old, you know, to people that are very, very young. And we also know that it affects people that are low income. And so Donald Trump has, like, he meets, obesity. Donald Trump meets all four of those things. I'm not knocking people with obesity. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying that Donald Trump is in all four of those risk factors. I also want to say that I stole that joke from someone on Reddit in a comment. And if I ever figure out what the comment was, I will go back to it. But I am getting away from my original point, which is, was it that Donald Trump almost, maybe we could consider, if we wanted to look at the situation in that way, that Donald Trump knowingly went to a presidential debate with a highly contagious disease? I think I played some video games before with that premise. It's just really interesting because if that is true, I'm not saying that that is true. I am saying that one could make a very good logical argument for that unless it was illegal somehow. And I'm not saying I'm making that argument at all. I mean, I haven't even introduced myself. Hi, my name is Aaron Black. I am a time traveler from the future, and I am just here to have some discussions with you about some potential future things. That would mean that you might want to start living your life in such a way that would allow you to extricate yourself from the that would allow you to extricate yourself from the soil of error. You might want to start making plans to perhaps maybe maneuver yourself in such a way that you no longer reside within the area where that sort of behavior has taken place. In fact, you might want to move outside of the boundaries of such a place and even establish yourself in a location that is further away than the place where that current bullshit is occurring. Now, again, I am not saying that, I mean, that's a ridiculous way to look at that situation. The best way to look at that situation is simply that this is just an unfortunate, Hope Hicks didn't know what was going on. And, she didn't know because, of course, as much as we don't like the president or like Hope Hicks or whatever, as much as we don't like their policies, we know that at a very base level, these people have empathy and they wouldn't purposefully do things to hurt someone else. There's no way that something like that would ever occur. There's no way that something like that would ever occur. And so what we need to understand is that this is just an unfortunate, just happenstance. It's just happened this way. It's terrible. It isn't anyone's fault. And if we can just come together as a country, we can all get through this. That's a perfectly okay way to look at it. But the thing is, though, when we take into account, maybe some of the other behaviors that this person has engaged in, such as, maybe making fun of, military veterans and saying that now, I haven't personally heard Donald Trump call any military veterans losers. I have not heard or seen it. In fact, if anyone has access to that information and could let me hear it with my own ears, again, it could be a deep fake with all of the, imagery and stuff that we have in today's world. It could be fake. I would need Donald Trump to come down himself in front of me and tell me that he thinks that generals and five-star veterans are losers. I've never heard Mr. Trump say that. And so I'm just saying, I would have to assume that things like that are true. Or maybe that time where, he, said that black people, that laziness is a trait in blacks. Again, I've never heard him say that. I have read an article that said that he said that like in 1991, but I don't know if that is true, per se. But if that is true, if that is something that we could consider, perhaps maybe, you might want to consider investing all this extra time, from not going on a commute and stuff and all of those things. You might want to invest some of that time into learning how to write, a little bit of code. You know what I'm saying? You might want to understand that Python is just not a type of snake. And, you might want to be able to do more than just eat, a Raspberry Pi. You might want to be able to, just have some sort of skill that doesn't require face to face. You might want to have some sort of skill that doesn't require you to be face to face with people, and people will pay you for that skill. For example, you might be very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? You might have a way of kind of talking about topics that most people feel like they crazy about, but in a way that helps them not feel crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to give words to a lot of the frustration and anxiety that people are feeling about current situations and stuff, and say it in a way that allows them to feel the full weight of the decisions that they might have to make in the future, and do so in a way that is humorous, right? And so if you were one of those people, you might make a YouTube channel, or you might start a gaming channel, or you might, lots of things that you could do other than sit around and think about how bad everything is. Because just in case there is a universe where our dear leader came to a debate infected with a virus that he knew and or claimed to not know, because everything this motherfucker says is a lie. He sounds a lot like a nigga that my pastor used to talk about a lot. There's just this person that was supposed to be like the man of lawlessness. And what's so interesting is that the nigga in office sure be talking about law and order a lot. He really do. Hang on a second. Now again, you know what? I've had a few moments to think about this and think about everything that I have been, saying, and that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous. You know what? That would be like someone having a YouTube channel where the first game they ever played on their channel was a game called Far Cry 5, and in that game it was the rise of cults, and it was the rise of like Christian cults, and they took over a small town in Minnesota that was just kind of out and about, and nobody believed it was real. It's not like something like that would happen, because it would be like that same person living in Seattle where Chaz happened, and they have video of it, kind of like the stuff that happened in that video game, because, that would just be a little bit too coincidental. Stuff like that just does not happen. There's no way that Black Panther, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the entirety of my childhood would all die in the same year. There's no way that it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. None of this stuff. You were just looking. There's no way that half of the West Coast would be on fire, the South would be getting hit with floods, and the entire world would be encapsulated in a gigantic virus that's making some people do better if they were doing better, and making some people do worse if they were doing worse. It's almost like somebody, dropped an entire software update, on the entire world, and just to kind of see how we might deal with it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I just, and I know I said that I was going to level with you, but it's just, the more that I think about this, the more it just, it just seems strange, y'all. Isn't it just a lot of weird stuff is happening. It's almost like some people know something that other people like, is life a gigantic cosmic joke or something? Is it like, but people actually suffer. There's real suffering, there's real pain in the world. And at the same time, there's real joy, there's real laughter. So what is going on? What are some other theories that might be able to explain, was did something happen at CERN? I don't know if you saw my, hang on, I'm getting thirsty. Oh man. 12:37. Okay, I got a few more minutes of ranting to do. Just so many coincidences. It's just a lot of stuff happening. And I just wonder sometimes, and again, I just want to reiterate and make it absolutely clear that there is no reason to even consider the possibility that maybe our president knew that he had coronavirus, purposefully went to that event. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm just a time traveler from the future, right? I'm not saying, that we should even look at situations like that. And who does stuff like that? Schizophrenics. Schizophrenics love to just take what is just blatant truth and then twist it into some sort of way to try to make some sort of machination about it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, I have people that think that everybody around them is abusive, that they just have a bunch of abusive friends. And, of course not. Of course, it's always something that they're doing. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. There is no such thing as people that just exist for the sole purpose of, hurting other folks. That doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And just, so it's just possible that I'm just looking at that situation entirely wrong. I'm just looking at it wrong. That, man, what must be wrong with me to even consider? Because you know what? It's not like people do stuff like that. It's not like that's something that actually, it's not like there are governments out there that would do something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, every single person who is a follower or subscriber of mine that can run for office, that can run for an election committee, that can do something, please do something. You have got to be the change that you want to see. And the change is happening fast. Coronavirus is not good. Coronavirus is not bad. Coronavirus is a test. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be that it's coming from some all-powerful divine being. We don't have to go there if you don't want to. If you do, just write me a check. The point that I'm making is that how you respond to this is going to determine how you see yourself for a very, very, very long time. And so please do something. Just do something. I was running for president of the Washington Association for MFTs. Now I'm doing the election chair. But what honestly was probably going to happen is I'm going to be a compassionate voice to help bring people who get triggered by white supremacy, who get triggered by discussing those things, because it's just hard for people to speak on those topics without being angry. That's probably what I'm going to do there. And I'm okay with it. I'm fine. Whatever I can do to help, because the truth is we have to change people's minds who are comfortable. There are people that are so comfortable in this situation. There are people, I know what that must feel like. Over here, I have a VR system. I have all the games I could play. I have tons of monitors. I have enough stuff to distract me from the pain and suffering that's going on around me. All I have to do is put on my therapist. I mean, I don't have no therapist voice, but even still, all I have to do is do my work, help people, and then I could just go escape. I could go escape into any number of just distractions. And there are people's attention who make decisions that we need to get. I need to let people know that psychiatric abuse is a million times worse than police brutality, because at least with police brutality, they kill you at the end. There are people that have been in institutions drugged up for all of their lives. And the people who need to know this are the ones that are the most insulated from it. And so we have got to do more. So to those people who respond or talk to me in my comments, or what do you need? What are you running for? What do you need? How can, send me an email. Let's get your platform. Whatever you want to talk about, it doesn't matter. Whatever is your thing that you're like, man, I wish I had a platform for this. If I could go to someone and say I was on an interview show with a therapist where I discussed this topic that I felt very, very passionate about, so that you could have a video to give to someone to say, look, here's some legitimate. Now, we not going to be out here legitimizing stuff that does not need to be legitimized. And I think that people know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you can ask. And I'm not going to tell you no, the invitation is open, but we will talk about it. And we'll talk about it. So long story short, I want to let this be a platform for you. You know, I'm doing fine. It's cool, but most people don't even care. Like most people, like honestly, they don't. If someone sees that you were on a show with someone that had 1,000 views, you're instantly, especially my people from smaller communities, instantly it's going to give you more legitimacy. They don't have to know. It's all about appearances now. That's all that matters. My life is not glamorous. If I were to turn this camera around and show you my house, my life isn't glamorous. But I have people all the time now that like speak to me with this air of like, ugh, and I'm like, stop, you know? And what's so funny is like I'm gonna have people that are gonna do intakes with me now, and they're not gonna get this far in the video. And they're still gonna think that I'm just this hoity-toity person when it's like, nah, bro, like I ain't expect this shit to get this big. Like, damn, I was just, I kind of knew it might, but you know what I'm saying? 1,000 means a lot to me, and that's what I'm talking about. So instead of doing what most YouTubers do when they get their channels and they start making money, like one day I'm gonna have a Patreon because one day I just want to chill and like provide so much value. But beyond that, I don't want to do that thing that YouTubers do where they get a little status and then you start having ads and all that BS. But this is my solution. Just send me an email, whatever your issue might be, whatever your platform is, whatever injustice you've experienced in your life. If you want to come on and talk about maybe, one of the injustices that I've discussed that you want to talk about, whatever it might be, help me help you with that. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's the weekend, y'all. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this up and give it some time to watch, but I honestly, y'all, have got to do a better job of just playing video games. Like I don't relax anymore because there is so much injustice. I don't know how to take a rest from it. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between distracting yourself from what's going on and taking a rest and taking a break from what's going on, And so I think that it's just hard for me to play games just for myself. I feel like I do so much better when I have an audience. And what I mean by that is I probably wouldn't talk. I probably wouldn't say much. I probably have, I know what I could do. So you guys could tell me what your causes are and I'll just put hashtags or I'll make little like box arts and clips or whatever. And then that would be so sick. And I wouldn't have to say anything and I could just play games and just advertise whatever your cause might be and just do it. Like, hell, just do it. So that's what I'll do. So tell me what your causes are. Tell me the things. And even if it's one that already exists, I'm going to look it up, but tell me what the cause is, why you feel passionately about it. And I will stream myself playing video games and it'll help me because I really do need to get better at just relaxing and not doing anything. And so some people can watch and you can laugh at my nonverbal behavior and it'll give me I can stream on Twitch. I can stream on YouTube. I can stream on Facebook and I'll just leave a link to the things that are important to you. And then we can see what we can do about this stuff because I can't have my channel the normal way. I thought I was just going to be able to go through that, that bullshit ladder of how it works. And if you need me to explain it to you, I'll talk about it later. But long story short, this is what I want to do with my channel. There are other videos I'm going to make, but this one seems important. Y'all, the situation we are in is fucking strange. This is crazy. And anybody acting like it's not, just the amount of coincidences has me thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe I am a time traveler from, the future that. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.